Long ago, a Canadian friend of mine met a wise old man who took him into their basement before revealing in whispered tones that he's an audiophile. Nobody knows exactly what that old man did to my friend in that basement, but he's never been the same since. He described it to me that it's like that true level scene from Rick and Morty. He can no longer go back to being an ordinary person, listening to normal audio. So, when this pervert recommended the MPow M30 earbuds, I knew they would have high quality audio. Is the sound quality good? Yes. Is the product good overall? Yes. But that isn't why I'm making this video. The reason I'm making this video is to explain how durable these little bastards are. I first used these headphones in 2019 to listen to audiobooks about investment strategy while working night shifts in a hotel. So you could say these little earbuds are responsible for my meager store of wealth. In the end, I quit that job to live in the countryside for a year with an eccentric rich person called Stephen, whose life goal was to overthrow the British government. During every morning I would run up a hill while listening to music in the MPow M30 earbuds, and every evening Stephen would rant about some new mad scheme to earn millions as we drove to the gym, where I would listen to more music while pumping iron. Stephen was an interesting fellow, always stockpiling salt to build a sensory deprivation tank, but never quite going through with it. His intention was to get extremely high and enter the tank to disentangle his thoughts from the material world, to subvert the malaise of the demiurge and burrow deep into his own subconscious, where he could commune with transcended wizards in the metaconscious void. For about a month he tried repeatedly to make his own ayahuasca but failed, vomiting from the misbegotten concoctions that he made. One day he took a fistful of mushrooms and tripped so hard that when I left to go to the toilet he thought I'd been disappeared by some omnipotent government god entity. When I emerged from the toilet, he ranted at me for about half an hour about having projected his consciousness into the mind of a squid. Not wanting to rely on this man entirely for transportation back to civilization if need be, I began walking very long distances while listening to music and audiobooks on my MPow M30 earbuds. At one point I walked from our house to the nearest city of Plymouth, which was about 20 miles away. The route was treacherous, with no pavements and lots of traffic, so I made the decision that next time I would just try and boat down the river. After all, look at this map. I was up here in Horsebridge and Plymouth was directly down the river. Why, all I'd have to do is deploy a boat and sit on it until it reached Plymouth. Easy peasy, and I would avoid traffic. I did not zoom into this map and check for obstacles or threats to my life. In retrospect, I should have done this. So one day I hopped onto the inflatable dinghy. From here I floated down the river with my luggage because I planned to board a train upon arrival at Plymouth. Initially the journey was pleasant. I listened to music on my MPow M30 earbuds and enjoyed watching the scenery go by. Then I noticed a weird structure ahead. It looked like a giant tree had been felled and a clean vertical square cut had been made in the center. This tight funnel was pushing the entire river for a small gap, which shot the raft forward at frightening speeds when I went through it, but I stabilized and was fine. A few minutes go by and I see another one, which does the same thing. No problem, right? Then there's a third one. At this point I've already been through 2 of these funnels, so a third one shouldn't be so bad, right? Wrong. On approach, I hear the roar of the water and see that this concrete structure has formed a small waterfall. As it nears, I realize that I am about to get completely destroyed. It do go down.
It's a bridge. Just goes around the corner. Walking on the fighting side of me.
That don't look like it. It goes down.
It don't. It don't go down.
Robert, it goes down.
No, it don't.
It do go down.
Oh! Don't!
It is too late. The current is too strong, and my oars cannot battle the currents at this speed. As the boat hits the funnel, the undercurrent instantly flips the boat, sending me and my luggage directly into the water. At this point, we need to talk about a structure called a weir. or in American parlance it would be known as a Lowhead Dam. A weir or lowhead dam is a structure designed to control the flow of water at key points in a river, limiting its spread to the surrounding terrain. At certain speeds and elevations, it can create a structure called a drowning machine, in which the water on the surface flows retrograde, pushing objects back into the waterfall, which of course pushes them underwater over and over again. A human being caught in this trap often fails to escape the currents or keep their head above water, leading to their eventual drowning. So I fall into the drowning machine, but remarkably my MPow M30 earbuds are still functional. Playing Night of Fire from the Initial D soundtrack as my struggling body spins uncontrollably underwater, my throat and lungs becoming completely flooded, as it dawns on me that I may never embrace my dear mother again. It also occurs to me that this was a really stupid way to die, and that my friends and family will probably remember me as being an idiot. Luckily, my body eventually emerges from the water, where finally, and tragically, my earbuds stop working. I look back at the drowning machine, which eventually spits out my bag, and then floats down the river directly towards me and into my hands, as if the weir is telling me to bugger off. The boat, however, is stuck in the water, spinning rapidly lengthwise. In fear of approaching the drowning machine, I leave the boat to its fate, still spinning as I glance back from a distance. Perhaps the boat is still spinning in that river to this very day. Eventually I make it home and tell Stephen about the adventure. He finds it very funny, as do I. My phone is completely destroyed. However, next day, a miracle happens. My MPow M30 earbuds are working once again. Such is the durability of these earbuds that they can survive the drowning machine. Not my phone though, that did remain broken. On another occasion, one of my earbuds fell into a shop's dog water bowl for about 20 minutes before I found it, which again prevented it from working for about a day before it resurrected. Another time I dropped it into my cat's water bowl with similar results. The only person I've met who managed to completely destroy their own M30 earbuds was a clumsy transvestite, who repeatedly stepped on them and kicked them around, presumably skewering them with a stiletto heel as a finishing blow. It's 2025, and mine are still functional, despite the abuse. And much like an abuse victim, they remain forever faithful, for fear of what I might do next. As for Stephen, he moved to America to wed his multiple personality wife, and he now has plans to build a new libertarian country in the middle of the African desert. This video was not sponsored by MPow M30 earbuds, nor do I think they even produce this exact make anymore, since my charger case doesn't even have a screen. Having said that, if MPow ever see this video, I must let you know that I'm completely willing to shill your products. If you look at my channel, you'll note it's full of nothing but advertiser-friendly, child-friendly content with a consistently professional theme and upload schedule. If you want to sell your fine products to the 5 people who watch my content, then please hit me up, MPow. Anyway, as for the review score, 10 out of 10. Why not?